It's feminine about you, Brittany.
Everything is feminine about me.
The only side chicks I've seen that look better than me are these right here.
Married for 52 days, Muslim for 74.
I'm here with
Brittany Renner!
There was a video that I did in my car where I was talking about how I had sex with 3 men in a day,
Yes.
and then I ended up getting a yeast infection.
yeah.
First of all, Allahu Akbar.
Hello, everyone. I'm back, and things look a little different. The last time I was in LA, my life was centered around mischief, and God doesn't like mischief.
So Brittany Renner went through a complete modesty glow-up, became a Muslim woman, changed the way that she dressed, realized that she has to get a provider Muslim husband because Muslim women have provider husbands.
So you said your account is 35?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
So Brittany Renner, fitness girl turned chaos magnet turned philosopher on Clubhouse. Her story starts like a lot of early Instagram influencers, abs, angles, and affirmations. She was born February 26, 1992 in Ocean Spring, Mississippi, and she built her following doing fitness content under the name Bundle of Brittany, which honestly is a pretty normal stuff. She posted workout videos, she posed in gym wear, she gave a few motivational captions that made sense if you didn't read them twice. And the internet, they ate it up. But then something changed. Somewhere between gym selfies and brand deals, Brittany realized that she could post whatever she wanted and people would still watch. So she did. In 2018, she dropped a memoir called Judge Discover. And if you're thinking, okay, cute branding, no. This wasn't just your average fitness girl boss coffee table book. Even the cover alone, I don't know if I'm allowed to put it on here because this book was a tell-all, like a real one. The kind where she names names, she shares messy stories, and basically she introduces herself as someone who is not here to keep up an aesthetic. The book's got mixed reviews, which is PR speak for. A lot of people were mad but also kept reading. And that's where the shift happened, because when Brittany started out, her whole image was fitness, confidence, hustle, the kind of person you would repost on your story after doing 5 crunches. But then she pivoted because suddenly she wasn't just a wellness influencer, she was someone publicly talking about her dating history. She was clapping back at critics and being unapologetically chaos on mainstream. And the public, they were confused, they were outraged, they were obsessed, because that's what happens when a woman doesn't stay in the lane that the internet has picked out for her. They turn her into a spectacle. So now Brittany isn't just the girl from the gym, she's the girl from that headline. She's the one people argue about on podcasts, the one who dated who, the one who said what, and the internet hasn't stopped watching her since. And here's where everything just stops being about fitness and starts becoming a full-blown reality show that you did not subscribe to but somehow got sucked into. But before then, let me introduce myself. Hi guys, my name is Joel. Kindly like, share, subscribe if you care. And that being said, let's get straight into this video. So let's talk about the high-profile romantic links and public controversies of Brittany. Brittany Renner, she has dated, or she has been rumored to date, literally half the industry. Rappers, athletes, R&B singers, guys who peaked in 2014 and some who were probably still using Snapchat like it was a business tool. And when I say she dated publicly, I mean she dated so publicly that the relationship became more famous than the people in them. In her memoir, the one that basically said, here is my life and also here is me setting fire to any remaining privacy I had, she listed 7 unnamed men, no names, just vibes. But the internet, of course, they did what it did best and they turned it into a group project. Reddit threads, Twitter detectives, full YouTube conspiracy videos, they were all trying to figure out which code name was Trey Songz, which was Drake, which was Chris Brown, and which one made her cry in a Sprinter van, which one also probably forgot her birthday. The whole thing just turned into this weird parasocial jigsaw puzzle. Then there is Colin Kaepernick, who according to Renner, made her pay her way to visit him. Yeah, so basically he made her pay her way to visit him as some type of test, as in, you're a multi-millionaire, I'm flying across the country to see you, and I still need to cover my own travel because you want to know if I'm serious. Be so for real. This isn't an SAT exam, this is just ego in a fitted cap. That's not even half of it. She was allegedly linked to NBA players like Ben Simmons, James Harden, Jamal Murray, and even a soccer player you probably forgot about the second I stopped saying his name. Then you've got the rumors that she was linked to Kevin Samuels. Yeah, Kevin Samuels, Shaquille O'Neal, but thank God she came out to clear both of them. She said that they were platonic.
Did you date Kevin Samuel?
No.
Y'all were just cool.
Yeah, we were cool. We just did content together.
Right.
I did an interview, but
God
bless the Godfather.
Rest his soul. He made some good points though.
I had a great time. He was somebody that when I would have conversations with him, it was really hard to talk to him sometimes. Even the last conversation we had, it's like a little jagged pill.
Let's talk about, Basketball Wives. You're on another season of that.
But at this point, people weren't even waiting for confirmation any longer. They just assumed that if she breathed near a man in 4K, they were probably engaged.
You do realize that anytime someone see you with someone publicly, they automatically jump to the conclusion. You know that, right?
So like me and you then.
I'm doing an interview. Like Shaq.
What about it?
I'm saying people saw you out and she was Shaq. Or if I can assure you, if someone would have, let's just say we're out at some restaurant.
Me and
You and I. What you think? Even if we talking.
After this.
Even if we just having a conversation. You're somewhere, I'm with my boys, and they see, man, Shannon, you know it's going to be a thing. So you know what comes along with Brittany Renner. You know that anybody that you talk to, there's going to be accusation, innuendos, conjecture about what's happening.
Okay.
You don't, you okay with that?
I mean, people are entitled to their opinions. If I want to go out for dinner, I'm going to go out for dinner.
I'm just saying, but don't you want to just be able to go somewhere and people not automatically assume?
Hell no. I wouldn't trade this life for nothing. Because I get to skip the line figuratively and literally. So you have to accept the good with the bad. You can't say, hey, I want all these brand deals. I want to be famous. I want to be on TV. But don't take a picture of me when I'm leaving. Don't take a picture of me if I'm out eating. Grow up.
And nothing, and I mean nothing, sets the internet off quite like her relationship with PJ Washington. That one turned into a whole social media horror story, and it turned into a cautionary tale, a debate about age, power, money, and whether or not NBA players should be allowed to date at all. But we'll get to that. The thing is, Brittany didn't just date those men, she dated them in public with commentary, with consequences, and with a level of chaos that made people forget she was ever a fitness influencer at all. Suddenly, her life was the content, and everyone, whether they admitted it or not, they were watching. So let's talk about the thing that basically cemented Brittany Renner's reputation as the internet's favorite villain and cautionary tale all in one. Her relationship with PJ Washington, for one, let's talk about that. Because now, if you've never heard this story before, buckle up. It starts in 2019. Brittany Renner, she's 26 years old. PJ Washington is 18. Not just 18, he's a college freshman. And before anyone jumps to say age is just a number, he's a legal person, I want you to really picture that. Yeah, she's pushing 30, he's still figuring out where the laundry room is on campus, and yet somehow they start dating. Everyone sees it, no one says anything yet. We'll come to that, because back then it was just weird but not scandalous. And then 2021 hits, they have a baby, and barely a few months after the baby is born, they break up. Now here's where it goes from that is unfortunate to this feels like a TikTok think piece waiting to happen, because out of nowhere a rumor starts flying around that PJ Washington is paying Brittany Renner $200,000 a month in child support. That number, don't worry guys, it was completely made up, but it did not matter because the internet, they grabbed it, they stapled it to her forehead, they called it the truth, and suddenly Brittany wasn't just someone who dated a younger guy. People called her a predator, a scammer, a woman who plotted a financial heist with a baby involved, like this was Ocean 8 but make it family court. People started throwing around the word grooming, not even quietly. Whole podcasts were calling her a manipulator. Twitter threads had her labeled as a textbook predator, and then as if to pour vodka on the fire, Brittany Renner visited a college campus and tweeted, "Hey Jackson State, hide your sons." Now, I don't know who told her that was funny, but I would like to speak to them personally, because that joke not helping, especially not when the entire internet already thinks that you went out of your way to target an 18-year-old basketball player like it was a recruiting mission. Naturally, people were pissed, and instead of clarifying or logging off like a normal person, Brittany Renner did what she always does. She doubles down, she doubled down. She tweeted something so unhinged, I had to reread it twice. She said, "Yeah, imagine someone 18 or older wanting to fuck me and me wanting to fuck them, very outrageous. Call Chris Hansen now." So yeah, that's what she said. And she said it with her full chest. No notes, no regrets, just vibes. And this is the thing about Brittany Renner. She doesn't just stir up controversy, she commits to it. Most people would have tried to fix the optics, but when it comes to Brittany Renner, she is the optics. Hide your sons. It wasn't just a meme. It basically became branding. Like, she literally turned a moral panic into a catchphrase. To some people, that's iconic. A woman refusing to be shamed for dating legally grown men. To others, she's the human version of a walking red flag.
Do you like teenage girls?
When you say teenage, how are we talking?
Girls who are teenagers.
19?
19 and younger.
I have some 19-year-old friends, but I don't like anybody illegal, if that's what we're talking about, underage.
Some people think that you like underage girls. What do you say to them?
Well, those people that don't know Robert, they don't know me, you know.
They're wondering about you.
But either way, everyone knows her name. Brittany Renner didn't kill her reputation. She lit the match herself and watched it burn with a selfie angle and a caption. And the wildest part, she seems completely fine with that. Alright, so Brittany Renner and Charleston White. Let's talk about that, because yeah, that sentence alone already feels like something is about to go left, because it did, and it did so rapidly. It's August 2023 and Brittany Renner, she shows up on the Danza Project podcast. For context, this is one of those shows where grown men just sit around with microphones and slowly review things that they should be unpacking in therapy. Joining them is Charleston White, who is basically what happens when Facebook comments gain sentiment. He's loud, he's controversial, he's 52 years old and very married, which becomes important in about 2 minutes. Luesta has done a video on him. It's your boy Luesta, a very informative video. But then, in my own opinion, Charleston White is a real dickhead in real life, online and beyond. I don't know why people still invite him to their podcast, honestly, but let's just get back to this video. So, the episode starts, yeah? Everyone is going fine, and then Brittany Renner, clearly she's drunk, and she said it herself that she's drunk, and she decides that now is the perfect time to flirt with Charleston White. And not normal flirting, I mean the kind where she's climbing on the Man Meet podcast, she's throwing her legs over him, and she's giving him a full-blown lap dance while the rest of the room just silently tries to pretend that this is a conversation and not a deleted scene from Bad Girls Club. And it's the kind of clip that you watch once, you blink 3 times, and then immediately you rewatch it just to confirm that it actually happened. And yes, it did. At one point, she's kissing him, At another, she's hanging all over him like the podcast turned into an after party that no one else was invited to. The hosts, they were seated there, they were looking like, please cut the camera, dead out. But Charleston White, he was living his best life. He was smiling ear to ear like it's prom night. No matter how drunk I would be, I would never ever find Charleston White attractive. But again, it's Brittany Renner, so what do we expect? Naturally, the internet, they had things to say. Brittany Renner, she got dragged into all of this all over again. People were calling the whole thing cringe. They were saying it's a train wreck, secondhand embarrassment on max volume. But mostly the hit came from one thing. She did all that on camera, knowing that the man was married and knowing that she herself, she's a mom. Which apparently, according to the internet, means that you're no longer allowed to do anything remotely unhinged. One person wrote, why is Brittany Renner giving lap dances to married men on podcasts when she has a kid? Like her child was watching the live stream with a juice box and a notepad. Relax. But it didn't stop there. Some people actually brought up PJ Washington again. Because of course they did. And if this somehow confirms every theory, every tweet, every podcast rant about how he should have known better, like one chaotic night explains everything, like he got out just in time. Meanwhile, Charleston White is loving every second of this. In a follow-up interview, he said that he fell in love with Brittany and he fell in love with her that night, and he said that they went to a strip club after the show and they made out in public and had so much fun, and that the footage is unshowable. Sir, you're 52 years old. Your wife is somewhere watching you act like a high schooler with a fake ID. He then tried to soften the whole thing by saying that he made sure that Brittany Renner got home safely and didn't take advantage of her, which is good but also bare minimum behavior, not an award-winning act of heroism. Eventually, Brittany Renner said that she was embarrassed. She said that she didn't mean for things to get out of hand, and maybe she didn't, but the internet doesn't care about intention. It cares about content. And now that clip exists forever on TikTok, in group chats, and probably as a reaction GIF somewhere. The Charleston White incident didn't change anything about Brittany Renner. It just reminded people who she really is. She's chaotic, she's impulsive, she does whatever she wants even when literally no one asked for it. And somehow, she still makes sure that the cameras are rolling. This is her brand now. It's no longer fitness, it's not modeling, it's not even PJ Washington saga. It's literally this. It's the spectacle. The moment you weren't expecting, that somehow becomes the only thing anyone can talk about for a week straight.
I mean, people are entitled to their opinions. If I want to go out for dinner, I'm going to go out for dinner.
I'm just saying, but don't you want to just like be able to go somewhere and people not automatically assume?
Hell no. I wouldn't trade this life for nothing. Because I get to skip the line figuratively and literally. So you have to accept the good with the bad. You can't say, hey, I want all these brand deals, I want to be famous, I want to be on TV, but don't take a picture of me when I'm leaving. Don't take a picture of me if I'm out eating. Grow up. It's hot up under these lights. Okay? Not everybody can handle it, but for me, I mean, I love being in front of a camera. I really had a great time filming for Basketball Wives.
And honestly, at this point, Brittany Renner knows exactly what she's doing. So now let's talk about a short-lived marriage to Kevin Gates. So in 2025, Brittany Renner decided to do something totally out of character. She got married to Kevin Gates. Yeah. Kevin Gates, the same man who talks about chakras, allegedly drinks pee.
You never had that one done either?
What?
A woman piss in your mouth?
Yeah, I done had a woman pee in a cup while we was driving and I drunk it.
Oh, okay. Period.
Right there.
Yes.
Because it was just nothing. I was so infatuated with this woman to where it was just nothing about her that was nasty. Like, and then she's super clean. She like me. She drink number water all day. So her piss ain't got no taste.
Right.
Like,
and once said he telepathically linked with his cousin or something like that. The same man who was still married, kind of, to Draker Gates.
Draker don't be tripping. She doesn't allow Kevin's behavior to make her act out of character.
Right.
So she just lets him do what he's moved to do, and she just focuses on her own life. Now they still are legally married, I think, because she's still Draker Gates. She's never gone public with another man though. So
Okay.
I think she's cool with just playing her position. Whatever Kevin gonna do, they got kids together. I'm sure they co-parent
I'm sure he
great.
takes care of whatever
And
you gotta take care
they're
of.
best friends.
Right.
But they just move a little different.
While also doing interviews about being spiritually polygamous and maybe separated, but also maybe not. That Kevin Gates, that's the one Brittany Renner looked at and was like, yeah, that's my soulmate. Apparently, two of them had been circling each other since late 2022.
Brittany Renner meets Kevin Gates for the first time.
Hi. Wow. Hi everyone. My name is Brittany Renner, and I'm here with the one and only Kevin Gates. How you feeling?
Amazing. Hey, thank you. Hey, this I don't care if you get this on camera. I just want to say thank you for being an amazing person, always living in your truth. You inspire others silently. They probably don't want to admit it, but you inspire me. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Let me tell you something. So my first Rolling Loud I did in 2019 is when I first saw you.
Yeah.
And you were actually, Will and I worked together, and you were the only person that I wanted to see the entire festival. And today in 2022, it still rings true. You were the only person I wanted to see.
Did you like what you saw?
I actually loved it. I actually love what I'm.
And by 2024, Brittany Renner fully converted to Islam. She said it brought structure, it brought peace, and it helped her to focus on what really matters.
First of all, Allahu Akbar. I've gone through a lot of changes internally, and as a result, my outer world has completely crumbled. Sorry, woo! Wow. Leaving me incredibly uncertain in just about every area in my life. I have no idea where I'm going to live or how I'm going to provide for my son. But Allah has moved mountains for me, and I trust that this will be no different. I feel like Alice when she ate the cookie and her feet went through the windows and she's crammed in the house like that. I've outgrown where I am. The facade is fading, alhamdulillah. And I'm at a place where I don't want anything that doesn't have my name on it. Take it away. It serves no purpose here. And I don't want a penny more than I'm meant to have, because I can do a lot with a little. The facade is fading. And when the facade fades and all the BS is cleared out, it makes room for what has always been for you.
Which is great, but also, this is the same woman who gave Charleston White a lap dance while drunk on a podcast. So the whiplash, it was severe. Still, they kept it low-key, they kept it really, really quiet. Then April 6, 2025, which is also the day my parents got married, Brittany Renner and Kevin Gates, they get married in a private religious ceremony, just like that. And for about 2 weeks, everyone was like, huh? Okay. Unexpected, but okay. Then May 28th hits and the marriage is over. Yeah. 52 days. That's how long it lasted.
We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation, because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and, things changing, right. Honestly, it's I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married. So I think my biggest thing for me is this is a nice 90-day reset, just focusing on myself and pouring into myself. And what I also will add is that I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say in this world. And I have no shame in that. That's why I'm here. BET Awards. As you can see, I'm out here on this blacktop by myself.
52 days. It lasted longer than Kim Kardashian's 72-day marriage. Why am I saying marriage? That's not a marriage. That's a limited series. That's not even enough time for most people to return a Zara order. Brittany Renner confirmed it herself. She was like, it was not any dramatic fallout, no subtweet. She just said, we got married April 6th, we got divorced May 28th. Like, she was giving weather updates. Then she got on the radio and explained it with full peace in her voice. She said that she didn't go into it expecting it to end, that she just followed her heart, and that she's not ashamed, that under Islamic tradition, she's now in a 90-day no dating period to reset and to reflect. And honestly, that's the most put together thing that Brittany Renner has ever said in years. But of course, the internet did what it always does. It ignored everything she said and immediately dragged her for converting just for a man, for having a crisis marriage, for doing this while having a child. Because apparently, once you have a baby, the only thing you're allowed to do is to sit in silence and rewatch Cocomelon. Everyone started acting like this was some long con, like Brittany Renner became Muslim for 7 weeks just to secure Kevin Gates, a man who again casually talks about astral projection and acts like he invented deep thinking. Make it make sense.
Married for 52 days, Muslim for 74. It's official, Brittany Renner is officially done cosplaying an Islamic woman. In her latest video, she mentioned that she no longer wants to shrink herself to fit in anywhere. Such a coincidence now that her and Kevin Gates are no longer together, which is something many of us predicted. This makes me feel like she really was having some drinks underneath that hijab. Somebody called Jackie. Although we do know a hijab isn't what makes you Muslim, but her saying with her own words that she doesn't want to wear it because she no longer wants to shrink herself is basically all the proof that we need. You and Kevin just announced that you guys were no longer together. And now all of a sudden you're on the internet showing off your hair? People will forever be asking, did you do this for a man? And the answer to that is a yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know, the timing of everything is just a little bit off.
So Brittany Renner, she didn't spiral, she didn't backpedal. She said what she said. I followed my heart. That's more than most people can ever say. And honestly, she's not wrong. People clown her for being chaotic. And fair, she is. But at least she owns it. She owns it loudly and publicly without hiding behind PR statements or Instagram captions with hidden meanings. She falls hard, she crashes faster, and somehow she's always smiling there at the end of it like, next. So yeah, Brittany Renner, she married Kevin Gates. She became Muslim. She got divorced in under 2 months and she walked away from it like it was just another Tuesday. And that's more iconic than whatever motivational podcast is telling you to heal in private. She's healing in 4K. Try to keep up. So Brittany Renner married Kevin Gates, or at least she thought she did, or we all thought she did. I don't even know what that clownery was, because the deeper you go into that situation, the more it starts feeling like a fever dream with a Quran quote that was slapped on top. Let's backtrack this. Kevin Gates has been with Draker Gates since 2003. That's 2 decades of shared trauma and matching Instagram caption.
So my brother and his sister were like they play brother and sister, and we had no clue. He was picking up his sister from my brother's football game, and I was going to see my play football.
And what happened?
He hemmed me up.
I know he said something to you though. What did he say? What was his first words? Like, what's happening?
What's happening? It was something like that. He was in front of me walking. I'm behind him. He kept turning around looking at me, but he said that I was looking at him. Of course I'm looking at you if you're walking in front of me, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so then he hemmed me up at my car. We talked for like 2-3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Your first interaction, you talked for 2.
First interaction.
Wow. What'd you talk about?
Were you impressed?
All kind of stuff.
Were you impressed?
Was I impressed? I guess so. I was hard. I was really hard on guys.
So you know, Oh, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, what do you mean hard on guys?
You gotta like come with it if you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Were you
in
like a
that way.
daddy's girl? Was like
I was a daddy's girl.
Okay, yeah, I think like daddy's girls, we just kind of like be more. It's kind of like a puzzle. You gotta put together.
Exactly. Yes, you gotta figure me out.
What did your family think about y'all relationship when y'all first started dating?
Oh my gosh, nobody liked it. Everybody was against it. Nobody was really for it.
But he wasn't all the way Kevin Gates yet, though, right?
No.
Okay.
He was just Kevin.
They got officially married in 2015, and as of the time Brittany Renner entered the picture, no divorce had ever been announced. No paperwork, no press release, not even a joint statement or note up front with a blurry selfie. Just silence. Which brings up the pretty obvious question: was Kevin Gates married to two women at the same time? Because in America, that is not a trick question. It's called bigamy and it's illegal. So unless he divorced Draker quietly behind a curtain, that whole wedding ceremony with Brittany Renner doesn't actually mean anything in a legal sense. But don't worry, social media had answers, or at least excuses. Some of Kevin Gates fans, they started pulling the religious cards. They're saying, oh, he's Muslim. They said he's allowed to have multiple wives, which technically, not wrong, Islamic law does permit polygyny. A man can marry up to 4 wives, but the part that they conveniently leave out is that it comes with conditions, like real ones: equal treatment, equal time, equal emotional and financial support, and most importantly, the wife is supposed to be informed. In some cultures, she even has to consent, and I don't know about you, but there is zero evidence that Draker Gates was walking around co-signing Brittany Renner like, yes girl, welcome to the sister wife group chat. And in fact, Kevin Gates was allegedly telling other women, yes, plural, yes, other women, that he was legally separated, which already blows a hole in the whole this is a spiritual polygamous thing narrative. Because if it's all above board, why lie? And let's be honest, if Kevin Gates was truly practicing polygyny in the religious sense, if this was some honest, ethical, transparent arrangements grounded in faith, he wouldn't be sneaking around, dodging questions, or giving Draker the silent treatment. He would be saying, yes, I have 2 wives. Here's how I provide for both, and here's how I keep things balanced. Instead, we got a wedding ring on Brittany Renner's hand and a confused internet trying to figure out if they're in a marriage or just cosplaying one for Instagram. And the fact that Brittany Renner, of all people, got dragged into this whole religious loophole mess, honestly, it's so wild. Because whether you love her or hate her, she converted. She said she wanted peace, and then she got tossed into a PR nightmare where her husband may or may not have already had a wife already. And not just any wife, Draker Gates, the woman that Kevin built his brand with, the one who is allegedly off the grid, doing spiritual retreats and staying as far away from the circus as possible.
Jordan facial mist, y'all. You're just like running out of the house. You're just outside and need a little boost. Want to like get refreshed or something. Just it literally like elevates your frequency. Smells good. There's rose water in it. Rose water clears blemishes. Colloidal silver will help out with little nasties that are on the skin. Has cacao in it and also ylang ylang. Jordan mist, guys. Every single day, can't go wrong. These are cute!
Hello, lovers. So, I just got another box from Fox, okay?
So now you've got Brittany Renner in this 52-day-old marriage that may not have even been valid. You've got Kevin Gates pulling the I'm Muslim card like it somehow passed. And you have fans online debating Sharia law like they don't still use Snapchat. And here is the thing. Neither Brittany Renner nor Kevin Gates have explained anything. No clarification, no honesty, just vibes and a wedding ring. In the end, this whole thing became less about religion and more about how people weaponize religion when they're backed into a corner. Because yeah, Islamic polygyny exists, but it's not a cheat code for double lives, it's not free trial mode for second marriage, it's not pick a new wife every time you get bored. And if Kevin Gates was really about life, he wouldn't have needed to say that he was separated. So was Brittany Renner ever really married to Kevin Gates? Spiritually, maybe. Legally, probably not. Emotionally, it depends on which day you ask her. But one thing is for sure, the way this was handled, absolutely unserious. Now let's speak about faith as a refuge or PR. So Brittany Renner converted to Islam, then got married, then got divorced, all in less than it takes Amazon to deliver a book about emotional maturity. But sure, let's pretend like this was a normal sequence of events. Now, I'm not saying that people can't find religion in a hard time. People go through personal crises, they hit rock bottom, and sometimes they genuinely turn to faith. It happens, but what doesn't usually happen is a sudden religious conversion, a surprise marriage, a viral scandal, and a divorce, all within the same plotline, on camera, with merch. And this isn't just about Brittany. It's about the growing trend of public figures turning to religion like it's a personality pack that they downloaded off Instagram. Let's be honest, if you announce a new faith and post wedding photos with a rapper and go on a podcast and get divorced all in the same quarter, people are going to be suspicious. People are going to wonder if the religion part was real or if it was just a new filter over the same chaos. And the internet, immediately they caught on. The comments were like, did she just convert for Kevin Gates? Why does every celeb find God after the third scandal? She went from Charleston white lap dance to Ramadan real fast. Now, Brittany Renner didn't speak about it. She said Islam gave her structure. Islam gave her peace. That's it. It helped her reset. That it wasn't performative, but the optics were already cooked. Because this didn't look like a quiet personal transformation. It looked like a soft launch for a redemption arc. And that's where this starts to get messy. Because we've seen this before. Andrew Tate pulled the same move, got banned, got investigated, then suddenly popped up in a mosque. Candace Owens fired from her job, spiraling online, and then boom, now she's a Catholic and tweeting Christ is King like it's a personality trait. Shia LaBeouf facing lawsuits and then suddenly giving testimonials about his baptism. Not gonna lie, it's starting to feel like the formula is ruin your reputation, post a religious quote, wait for forgiveness, and maybe it works. Maybe it makes people stop and say, huh, maybe they've changed, or maybe it just makes them louder. Because as soon as Brittany Renner showed up in a hijab after everything, the public did what the public always does. They laughed, they speculated, they made memes. People were literally saying that she was just a content creator in a robe. That's not a critic, that's character assassination via group chat. But that's what happens when you mix faith with public spectacle. It becomes impossible to tell if someone is really trying to connect with God or just trying to clean up their search results. And the worst part, it makes actual believers look bad because now, instead of people exploring Islam or Christianity on their own terms, they're watching influencers treat it like, is this new aesthetic? Is this thing to try on while they wait for the next scandal to blow over? So yeah, Brittany Renner might have found something real in Islam. She might genuinely have found peace or even felt peace. But when you sandwich that between a 52-day marriage, a social media circus, and a man who was maybe still married to someone else, don't act surprised when people don't believe you. That's not disbelief, that's pattern recognition. And at this point, The pattern is faith isn't just a belief system anymore. It's the new publicist. Here's the thing about public conversions. Religious communities love them. At first, a lot of people, understandably, they get excited when someone with a massive platform joins their faith. It feels like a win, like, see, even they found the truth, even they came home. When Andrew Tate said the Shahada, there were people that were celebrating. When Candace Owens joined the Catholic Church, the whole circle, everybody welcomed her with open arms. People started hoping maybe this will help fix our image. Maybe this will make people take us seriously. Sometimes they even start predicting the next one. Elon Musk is next. Tucker Charleston probably halfway to baptism. It's like we're collecting influencers' souls like Pokemon cards. And here's where that backfires. When someone converts publicly and then immediately turns around and acts in ways that contradicts the very thing that they claim to believe, it doesn't just make them look bad, it makes the religion look suspect. Suddenly, it's not this person is fake, it's this faith must be full of hypocrites. You get critics going, oh, so Islam is fine with misogyny now? Or Christianity must be cool with racism since y'all gave her a standing ovation. People stop asking questions about the convert's sincerity and they start asking questions about the religion itself. And it sucks because most religious people are just trying to live their lives and they're trying to live their lives quietly with integrity. But every time a celebrity turns repentance into a press tour, the bar for sincerity gets higher and the fallout, it gets uglier because the second a convert does something reckless after publicly aligning themselves with a sacred tradition, it doesn't just feel like a personal mistake. It feels like a betrayal. It feels like a betrayal of everyone who welcomed them, of everyone who hopes that this time would be very, very different. So yeah, religious communities might open the door for these celebrity converts, but if that convert turns out to be using the faith for PR, for aesthetic, or for damage control, the door slams shut, not just for them, but for everyone else trying to walk through it sincerely. Okay, let me bust your bubbles. Brittany is actually back to being Brittany. Yeah, her redemption arc just lasted 52 days. Old girl is back. Maybe a cheetah doesn't change its spots after all. And yes, that was a double entendre. So, conclusion. Brittany Renner's life reads like someone dared her to live out every internet stereotype and then handed her a front-facing camera. From Mississippi to Instagram fame, fitness guru turned tabloid regular, celebrity hookups, public meltdowns, podcast drama, and a marriage that lasted shorter than most people's Amazon Prime trial. Add a religious conversion into the middle of that, and yeah, this was never going to be seen as just a personal decision. It was going to be a spectacle, whether she wanted it to be or not. She's been called everything: empowered, predatory, inspirational, gold digger, oversharer, cloud chaser. And at this point, Brittany Renner probably knows that no matter what she does, somebody's going to say that it was for attention. So maybe that's why she does it all so publicly, because the judgment is coming to her anyways. So she might as well be the main character. But the thing is, her story is bigger than her. This whole saga just taps into something bigger. How we treat women who own their sexuality, how fast we also flip between praise and humiliation, and it also teaches us how easily we question someone's faith when it doesn't come wrapped in silence and modesty. Brittany Renner didn't just convert, or I think Muslims they call it revert, didn't just convert to Islam. She did it while the internet was still screenshotting her last mistake. And that timing, that's where it got all messy. Because we've all seen this movie before. Celebrities, they hit rock bottom, they find religion, and suddenly every scandal becomes a redemption arc with scripture. But for people who actually live their faith, people who hold this sacred, watching someone step into your belief system right after going viral for a lap dance or a PR relationship, that's not inspiring. That's uncomfortable. It makes you wonder, are they really here to heal or are they here to hide? And honestly, it's very hard to say. Maybe Brittany Renner's conversion was real. Maybe it was impulsive. Maybe it was both. But the reason people side-eyed it so hard wasn't because she chose Islam. It's because she chose it after the chaos, during the chaos, inside the chaos, and expected everyone to treat it like it was separate. But here is the part no one wants to admit. She's human. She's messy, publicly messy, and faith, real or performative, doesn't usually show up in clean chapters. Sometimes it looks like a mistake. Sometimes it is a mistake. Sometimes it's just someone doing what they can to stop the spiral. So maybe Brittany Renner is trying to get it right. Maybe she's just doing what a lot of people do when the internet is tearing them apart. That means trying to find something that still feels sacred. Either way, we are watching. We always are. Not because we care that deeply, but because watching someone fall apart in public is easier than fixing our own mess in private. And maybe that's the real issue, because if we are being very, very honest, Brittany Renner didn't make religion look cheap. We did, by turning it into another viral storyline. So whether this is a redemption or just rebranding, that's up to her. But the next chapter, you'll still be trending either way. But guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you reach the end, kindly like, share, subscribe if you care. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm going to leave you all because I have a third video to record. I am so tired and it's so freaking hot and I cannot turn on my fan, because if I turn on my fan, you guys are going to hear the noise and it's going to disrupt the mic. And my room is so hot because I'm sitting in front of the glass and the sun is bouncing off the glass. I don't know. I don't understand the physics behind it, but I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm sweating my forehead. But thank you guys so much and see you next time. Bye.